This is Stop Sucking at Business, episode 35. It's time to grow your business, stop spinning your wheels, and build the life you deserve. And I'm here to help. My name is Megan Brain. This is Stop Sucking at Business. Hey guys, Megan here. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode. This is going to be a little bit different. I'm actually interested to see how popular this episode gets or doesn't get. This is going to be an interesting experiment. But first, as I mentioned last week, they have been jackhammering in front of my building and they're still doing it. So if you hear it in the background, I apologize. We're going to try and cut it out as much as possible, but progress never stops, right? This episode. So we're halfway through the halfway point of the year, right? It's now June 2016. Where are you in terms of what you wanted to accomplish this year? Are you ahead? Are you on pace, or are you behind? No matter where you are, this is going to be an episode for you. This is going to be a tough love episode. We're going to talk about where you need to be right now and how to get there, what to think about, how to change your mindset. So if you feel like you're missing the mark, if you feel like you're behind, then this episode is for you. If you're on pace, this episode is to keep you going. This is your wake-up call. Now, I'm going to try and save you the effort and the time and the money of finding a guru or a coach or a motivational speaker. I have had the pleasure or displeasure, mostly pleasure, of having my own motivational speakers, coaches, gurus, and I'm going to be like the middleman here. I'm just going to show you all of the good stuff that I've learned. And just, it's time for us to get serious, right? What have your goals been this year? We need to talk, right? Ready? First, I want to start with saying that I am not a person that says, just do what you love and the money will come. I'm not that person because it's not fair. It's not a fair perspective to have because it's so just flawed. You can't just put up a mood board or wish for it or visualize it. You need a plan. And so I'm not going to give you some la la la, everything's awesome as long as you just love what you're doing. No, I'm going to keep it real. This episode is your wake-up call. So let's start. And these are all of the things that I've learned that I want to share with you. Never apologize for wanting a better life. You are doing your business because you want a better life, right? You want either the freedom or the money, which is freedom, or you want the time, which is freedom. You want a better life. You want a life that isn't stressful, that isn't having a job that you hate going to, or making not enough money and you're struggling to get by, right? So never apologize for wanting more, for wanting better. There are going to be people that say things to you that try and dissuade you, that will be negative, and don't let them tear you down. Don't apologize for wanting more. This life is your life, right? This is what you want in life, not what they want. Who cares what they want? This is what you want. Practice gratitude more. Be thankful. Be appreciative. The most successful people I've met, and I've met a lot of them, have just a massive amount of gratitude. The Tony Robbinses, the Tim Ferrisses, the Ariana Huffingtons, they all practice gratitude. They all are grateful. They all appreciate it. They don't take it for granted. how far they've come, the hurdles they had to come, and who's been with them. Do you know what I mean? So don't ever take it for granted the opportunities that you've been given or the hardships that you've gone through. Practice the gratitude to be thankful for them. Have a mindset of abundance. This is difficult. It's not something that comes easily to a lot of people, myself included. So many of us come from a scarcity mindset of there's not enough. There's not enough money. There's not enough time. I can't invest in my company. I can't hire people. I can't do this. There's not enough. And if you are able to switch that to an abundance mindset of, I have so much. I will always have more. There's always a way to make money. There's always a way to improve my life. There's always ways to have more. Then the more will come. And I know that's woo-woo, but it's true. You can't go in to business thinking that the cards are already stacked against you, right? Because then you'll never grow. I actually just wrote a post sort of about this, about how to add value to your business without discounts. And it's kind of along this mindset of if you don't value yourself or your business, then you won't grow because you'll be stuck in this cycle of I got to make more, I got to make more, I got to make more money. But if you have a different mindset where you're just like, I create more by including more. Do you know what I mean by that? So there's always going to be more. Practice a mindset of abundance. There's a ton of different websites and podcasts and things about how to do that. So I definitely recommend kind of learning the ins and outs of creating a mindset of abundance. Stick up for yourself because you matter and you are valuable. Stick up for your business because business matters. Your business is valuable. Don't let anybody make you feel inferior. Don't let anybody walk over you. You've come so far as a business owner, as a person, as an entrepreneur, as a wife, as a husband, as a mother, as a father, as a friend, as a sibling. Don't ever apologize for that, and don't ever let anybody feel like you don't matter. Stick up for yourself and your business. Decide what it is you really want. What is the thing that you really want? More money, more time, better things, better opportunities for your kids. What does that all boil down to? Does it all boil down to freedom? Does it all boil down to opportunity? Does it all boil down to recognition? What is it that you really want? Start to figure that out. And instead of thinking, I want to be successful. Well, no, you'll never be successful then. You have to define what success means. Does it mean $150,000 a year in income? Does it mean your kids' colleges are already paid for? Does it mean that you're able to take your family on vacations? Does it mean that you have no debt? Does it mean that you're able to get a bigger house so that you can get a dog? What does it mean? What does success actually mean? If you don't define it, you'll never reach it. If you feel like you've done that, you've defined success, and you're not moving forward, or you're not feeling like anything is happening in your business or your life, reevaluate what it is that you really want, because the one thing that will stop you is if the status quo isn't painful enough. I did this exercise with Tony Robbins where you have to think about where your life is right now versus where you want it to be. And then think about what happens if you just keep going this way in a year. What happens to you in 5 years? What does that do to your body, just having this additional stress? What does it do to your relationships? What does it do to your finances? And now think about 10 years. How broken down is your spirit? How broken down is your body? How much debt are you in? What is your marriage like? That's when you start to realize that things need to change. And that's the only time things change, when it becomes too painful to keep the status quo. So if you're not moving forward, if you don't feel like you're moving forward, then you need to reevaluate your path and where you're going and what it is you want. Make a plan. Be as specific as you need to be. I always recommend just crazy specific. Like, by the end of 2016, I want to have a net revenue in my business of $250,000. See how I said net? See how I said 2016? That's my goal. How am I going to plan to get there? Okay, I need to break that down by quarter. Okay, I need to break this quarter down by months. Okay, I need to break this month down by weeks. How will I get that money? That's how many things do I have to sell? How many people do I have to reach? How many social media posts do I need? How many deals do I need to make on my supplies? You know what I mean? Make a plan and execute that plan. And if you don't hit it, you've gotten so much further, right? You've had this plan, because you can't, if it's all in your head, it doesn't work. It never works because it's in your head. It's just in the ether. It doesn't work. Write it down, stick it in front of your face wherever you can. I have my goals on this masking tape, like this pretty masking tape I got at Staples. And it has my revenue goal, and it also has my other goals, and I will read you my other goals. House staff, big and airy home, 2 assistants, excellent health care, no immediate financial concerns, and seen as valuable / life changer. Those are my other goals. And those are a little more woo-woo than a revenue goal, but they're still important to me, and they're still what I feel like I need to drive forward. So I want you to do the same. My revenue goal is right in front of my face on my wall, and my other goals are to the left side of my laptop, all on masking tape, all with Sharpie, so that I cannot avoid looking at them. And I recommend you do the same. You don't have to put it on your fridge. You don't have to put it somewhere that will feel embarrassing to you if somebody sees it, but you do have to have it in your face. Put it as your background on your phone. Put it as your background on your laptop, whatever. Make it so that you cannot avoid it, so that it's always there. Your past is not your future. If you messed up, if you think you failed, learn from it and move forward, because unless you're dead, you're not done. So many of us have pain from our past. I do too. I understand. Not even business pain, we have personal pain. We have things that were done to us, things that we felt have wronged us, but we can't let them hold us down, right? Being a successful person is about focusing on what matters. In the past, whatever happened back then, you have to let it go. And I say that as someone that has a lot of trouble letting it go. I have family problems. I have relationship problems. I have money problems that all stemmed from my past. And it's not worth it. I just say that from experience. It's not worth holding on to it, because what is it doing? It's just taking away from what you need to focus on. So if you failed, if you wronged someone, if you felt wronged, if you messed up, it's okay. Now it's time to go onward, right? Let's move on. Forgive yourself for those setbacks. That is so hard to do sometimes, right? There's always that negative thing in your head that's like, yeah, but. That's what I call it, the yeah, but. Oh, I won 5 awards. Yeah, but you never hired anybody. Oh, my name was in the New York Times. Yeah, but you didn't make any money from that. Do you know what I mean? So instead of having the yeah, but, just say, okay, that happened. I learned something from it, and now I move on. Make sure that you ask for help. Nobody is an island. Nobody can figure it all out. If there's somebody you know that is successful, and they don't have to be in your field, it's probably better if they're in your field, but if not, if you're able to find somebody that you can model, then ask them for help. Ask them how they did it. Most people I have found in my life are really fine telling you how they did it, which is why I had that mentor series, because I know people are just willing to tell their stories because they do want to help other people. So find somebody that has already carved a path, because why should you have to carve a path if there's already a paved road next to you? Do you know what I mean? If there are other people that have already done it, then you just do that. Find out how they did it, and then you do that. And I don't mean that to be copy somebody's product. I don't mean that to be, single white female kind of thing. I mean it to be, don't do hard work where hard work doesn't need to be done. If there are ways that people have done it, if people say, I was successful doing t-shirts by going to every show I could and just selling t-shirts and working on my merchandising and working on my pricing and really learning how to sell instead of asking yes or no questions, I would ask open-ended questions. Then that's what you do too. Learn how to sell, learn proper sales techniques, learn how to merchandise effectively, and learn how to create a story. And that's what you do. Somebody else did it and they're successful. There's the proof, right? The proof is in the pudding. So find someone to model and ask for help. Respect your time and invest in what moves you forward. This is about creating that abundance mindset, right? Where your life, your time. How many times have I said this to you guys? You're probably so sick of hearing it, but I'm going to say it again until it just is in your brain all the time. Money is unlimited. There are hundreds of thousands of ways to make money. I have an entire board on Pinterest that is just ways to make money on the side. You can always make money. You cannot make time. Time is fixed. We only get one ride, right? It's only one time around. We need to make the most of it. When you are on your deathbed, are you going to say you wish you worked more? No. You're going to say you wish you had more time. So, thinking of that, take the steps to do what you need to do to invest to make sure that you get more time, because you'll get more money. It happens. There's millions of ways to do it. Make sure you get more time. Don't take the extra time to learn something if you could just pay somebody to teach you how to do it. Do you know what I mean? Don't spend 3 hours on Google when you could spend 1 hour with an expert. Don't do it. Pay somebody, because it's going to save you time. You'll make it up. I promise you. As somebody that has spent nearly $12,000 on courses this year, you'll make it up. It's not as awful as you think it's going to be. Believe me, don't spend the time. I don't care if you're 22, because that's how I was when I was 22. I'll Google it. I don't care. I'll take more time. Do you know how much time I wasted? Stupid. So stupid. Don't waste your time. Find a way find a why, I should say. Find a why that involves somebody else and makes their lives better, because that will keep you accountable. When I say find your why, so we all need a reason to keep going when times are dark, right? When the bank account is low, when the bill collectors are calling, when it feels like nobody's buying, nobody's into it, nobody's interested. What is it that keeps us going at that time? It's your why. Why are you in this business? And yes, we're all in business to make money. We're all in business to have freedom. We're all in business to have a better life for ourselves. But what I have found after nearly a decade, no, more than a decade, oh my God, more than a decade, in business, it won't work unless you are fighting for somebody else, because that's what holds you accountable. You will let yourself slip. Like, oh, well, I didn't make the $250,000, but that's okay, because I learned a lot. And that's good that you learned a lot, but you're going to go further if you've got somebody else in mind. Like me, I have my husband. I want to provide a better life for him because he worked so hard for us when I was just starting out my business. And he's paid the price for that. You know, his back hurts him all the time. He has chronic back pain. He's a writer and he doesn't have time to write. And that's not fair. So he's my why. I want him to have a better life. And so what keeps me writing blog posts when I hate writing? What keeps me searching for new things to learn that I can teach? What keeps me when I'm frustrated? It's thinking about him. I want a better life for him. And if you're not seeing somebody, if you don't have a significant other, then what about your future? What about your future children? What about your future significant other? What about your parents? What about your siblings? There most likely is somebody else in your life that you want to make a life better for, right? So I definitely recommend finding somebody else to be accountable to and have that as your why. I think in my experience, it moves you forward faster and it keeps you going, especially when times are super hard. Live with intention. And Joe Rogan, I actually learned this from. He said, pretend you're in the middle of a documentary about your life that will be seen by your children. And I love that. I love that idea. Living intentionally. So if you have in your mind that somebody's filming you, somebody's filming a documentary about you, are you going to sit on the couch eating chips and just kind of falling off the couch in tank top and shorts, PJs? No, you're probably going to want to look at me, type, I'm working, type. Look how productive I am. And I love that. I love that idea, especially if you think oh my God, my children are going to watch this someday. My children are going to watch this imaginary documentary about me. And do you want them to say in this imaginary life, my mom was awesome. My mom was a baller. Or do you want them to be like, oh my God, this is so embarrassing, right? So live with intention. And I'm not saying that means that you have to slack off, or that you can't slack off, rather. We all do it. We all need mental health days. I mean, overall, stop making excuses. Stop being a victim. Stop not holding yourself accountable. Live with intention. Be productive. Pretend that somebody's filming you. I love that. Focus on your life and what you can do to move forward. Comparing yourself to others is a losing game because you don't know their pain. And this is something that I struggle with too. It's so hard not to look outside and see people that are successful, people that are millionaires, people that have their products everywhere, people that have just a wonderful lifestyle and their Instagram is so pretty, right? And they do inspirational quotes and you're sitting there just slogging away, wondering how you're going to pay your bills. My advice to you is to keep your eyes on your own paper, because Everybody has struggled. I do not believe in luck per se. I believe that people, the ones that weren't born into things, if you've had to quote unquote bootstrap it, I feel like luck is formed when all of the little pieces you put together form the picture, right? So all of the little crumbs from every day that you just did, you scheduled one more tweet, or you worked on one more cost cutting measure, or you gave up one thing to somebody else, you delegated one thing, or you automated one, you did one little thing, you got new business cards, you looked for new shows, you did this, you measured your Alexa rating. Every time you've done something small, it's built up to move you forward. And I think that's when the quote unquote luck happens. I think that's how you position yourself at the right place at the right time, because you have all of these things that push you forward. That's what I think luck is. And that's why I feel that if you see someone and you feel like, oh, they're so lucky, that's probably not true. It's probably they had a million little pieces behind them push them forward. And they had struggles. They had nights when they were just pissed off, frustrated, upset. I guarantee it. We don't see every side of the story. We only see the side that people want to put on the internet, right? Nobody's putting on their Instagram past due bills. Nobody's putting their debt on Instagram. Nobody's putting the fight that they had with their spouse. Do you know what I mean? There are so many things that we don't see. So keep your eyes on your own paper. And don't let anybody else's success bother you. Let it be a model for you going forward. Be responsible for your actions and your inactions. Excuses don't move you forward. And this kind of goes along with gratitude, sticking up for yourself. These all kind of work together. I feel like every time you make an excuse, you don't learn. And you're looking for, in my experience, I feel like excuses mean you're looking for somebody to say it's okay. And you're looking for someone to give you an out. And that's not how you succeed in business, right? You have to be accountable. You have to be responsible. And you have to just do it, right? You have to pick yourself up and go on. And if you make excuses, I had a friend a long time ago that was at a terrible show once, and she said to me, she was texting me, and I was like, oh, I can't believe I'm here. This was such a stupid idea. And I said, well, or she said, I knew this was a stupid idea. I'm sorry, this is going back a couple years, so I'm trying to remember. I knew this was such a stupid idea. And I was like, well, why did you do the show then? Well, I wanted to see my friends. Okay, well then go see your friends. Why? That's not a reason to do the show. If you knew it was going to be bad. Well, I wanted to make money for Christmas. Well, if you knew the show was bad, you're not going to make money for Christmas. You're going to waste money and time being there. So it ended up that she wasn't that much of a fan of me anymore because I kept yelling at her. But that's what I'm doing to you too. I'm going to give you some tough love and say you are responsible for your life. So if you're in a bad situation, fess up to yourself and make a plan to move forward. And don't let yourself fall into the trap of victim, whiny excuses. Don't do it. It won't help you move forward. Do one small change every day. One small change every day. I'm not asking you to go run a mile. I'm not asking you to make $1 million. I'm asking you to just walk around the block. Or I'm asking you to work on a new product. Just like what kind of color scheme do you think would be good? Do one small thing. Do 10 toe touches a day. Drink one glass of water a day. Do one small change, because that's how habits form, right? That's how good things end up in your life, is by creating habits. And so you don't need to feel like you need to hit the ground running. You just need to hit the ground. You just need to do one step. So do one small thing. Do one small thing today. Just one small thing today that would move you forward. It can be in your personal life. It can be in your financial life. It can be in your business life. Whatever you think. Just do one small thing. And last but definitely not least, is to celebrate your small wins and congratulate yourself. I've talked about this before, where I have my jar of awesome, right? And in my jar of awesome, it's a clear glass jar that I got at the dollar store. It has a bunch of yellow Post-its in it. And every yellow Post-it is something small that I did successfully. And let me pull some out. Let's see. 3/10/16. Had first joint venture discussion with another entrepreneur. 5/14/16. 2,000 subscribers to my mailing list. Do you see what I mean? It's not bananas. It's not, $1 million. No, it's all the little wins that I had that get to move me forward. And that's what I want you to do too. We get in the trenches, right? We get so far in the trenches. We never see the good that we're doing. We never see all those little pieces. So make yourself see all those little pieces. You are further ahead than you were yesterday, than you were last week, last month, than you were last year. So celebrate that. Let yourself be amazed by yourself. And I know this was a big pile of different life lessons, right? There was no real linear part to this podcast. And so that's why I'm really interested to see how you liked this or how you didn't like it. You can tell me either way. I'll take it and I'll learn from it. But these are all the things that I want you to think about. So listen to this podcast again. Pause it. Write down your answers where applicable. And make a plan to move forward the rest of the year. If you're not on pace, figure out how to get on pace. Just make a plan. One small thing a day, right? If you're on pace, make a plan to go a little higher because you reached the bar, right? Now let's raise the bar. If you're ahead, make a plan to stay ahead because you know it's not always up. There's ups and downs. So how will you get ahead of the downs? If you've been listening to this a while, if you've never listened to me before, if you're like, what the hell am I listening to? This is wacky. This chick is bananas. I'm glad you're here. Either way. And I hope that your business, that your happiness all moves forward this week. Let me know what you thought about this. You can tweet me at Megan Plus Coffee, or you can leave a review on iTunes. That would actually be really helpful. I would love if you guys would do that, if you're into it. Either way, I will talk to you next week. I hope you have a great week.